a dunce or I'm an idiot or whatever
I'm
kind
an
of
idiot
a
or something,
tap on
dummy
him
or something.
And made fun of him, sort of made him do some penance for giving that interview down in Arkansas. But yeah, so I think he's chastened now, and I think he's probably going to be a little bit smarter about what he says and when he says it. But yeah, it really is beyond absurd. I mean, not only 35 minutes of Johnny highlights and conversation after the second string quarterback, plays his first exhibition game ever. It's just overkill to the point of being comical. And all this earnest, head scratching, chin stroking commentary by the NFL analysts on the basis of a dozen plays in the first exhibition game against a bunch of rummies that'll never play in the NFL.
And you wouldn't know
it
that
really was funny.
You wouldn't know that the number one draft pick, the number one quarterback drafted even played. Like, you wouldn't even know that Blake Bortles even played the other day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The guy that was taking, 14 picks ahead of Johnny Manziel. Yeah. You're right.
I'm telling you.
It really is strange. And I don't think I've ever
He's
really
playing behind Chad Henne,
like
bro. He's playing behind Henne. You know what I mean?
That's right. And they pretty much have said it's going to be a redshirt season for Blake Bortles.
I mean, shoot.
So, yeah, it's crazy, but, we knew the three-ring circus we were getting into when draft day happened, and this is what we've been anticipating, and certainly is not a surprise, but just the level to which it is over the top is even surprising to me, and I saw this coming a mile away.
I mean, I'm serious, Dan. I would take Brian Hoyer over Chad Henne 8 days a week. You know what I mean? And yet the fact that number 2 or whatever, picked the first quarterback taken in the draft, way up at the top, is being told right off the bat, listen, kid, you're not even going to play this year. We're going to play this journeyman nobody that is nothing, right? But we're not going to mock that in Jacksonville, which had an even worse season than the Browns did. But the Browns do something similar with a quarterback who was almost taken in the second round of the draft, and they have desecrated the holy Manziel statue by putting this Hoyer guy in the conversation. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? But this thing in Jacksonville, we don't even talk about that? Get out of here with that, man.
Yeah, it just they lose credibility with it, and when you've got their top analysts, Wilbon and Kornheiser, going off tone deaf completely to what's going on in Cleveland, Ohio, but presuming to pronounce from on high about the problems with the front office. And the other thing is they act like, yes, we know we've got sort of a legacy of losing here since 1999, or if you want to say since 1989, and the organization has not done well. But you cannot hang that on Haslam, Farmer, and Pettin. You can hang one season on Haslam, and you can't hang any seasons on Farmer and Pettin in terms of how this organization as an organization has performed, unless you just can think that there's a virus in the building in Berea, and no matter if it's Romeo Crennel or Butch Davis or Chris Palmer or whoever that runs through there gets infected by it and ends up sucking. That's the way they act, like there's something that is systemic in the organization. And even when you clean house right up to the owner and bring in an entirely new regime, then they're to have all these sins of the past organization hung on their at their doorstep, and it's ridiculous to talk about the organization as if Haslam, Farmer, and Pettin are responsible for everything since 1999. It's just myopic. It's crazy.
Yep, and I'll tell you, I just keep going back to how Pettin's handling it. I love the one question. They keep trying to find new ways of asking him the same question. And somebody said, "So, Coach, any new plans on the quarterback rotation during this Monday's game against the Redskins?" He goes, "Well, at least you didn't start the question by saying I have to ask this. You don't have to ask me anything. We'll have the information. Absolutely nothing has changed. We will go ahead and meet tomorrow, and discuss all positions, including quarterback. Like, he does a good job of just deflecting that stuff off, because literally every question is, hey, Alex Mack was snapping the ball really well. So what do you think? Is Johnny Manziel or Brian Hoyer going to start? You know what I mean? Like, the wind was blowing today. Does that affect the quarterback competition at all? Has the depth chart changed since lunch?
Speaking of which, Jerry, there were 50 or so other players playing the other night.
I know.
What did you think in general about the performances of some of the talent on the Browns? I mean, what jumped out at you? What did you like come away with otherwise outside the quarterback position?
Let's see. Okay, offensively, I think the running game's going to be pretty solid this year. I liked what we saw. I liked the little bit we saw out of Ben Tate. Here's what I like the most out of all the running backs is that we finally have running backs, and I like Trent Richardson. I do. But no offense to him, we got running backs who run straight forward. I kept joking with my son while we were watching the game. Amazing.
No dancing in the hole.
When you run through the hole, you can get tackled immediately and still gain 2 to 3 yards. It's amazing how that works out. Just the length of your body alone is 6 feet long. I mean, that's 2 yards right there. So dancing in the hole would drive me nuts, because that's what killed, and it will continue to kill, Trent Richardson throughout his career. If he could hit straight ahead, then, run people over and use those assets you got. But that I noticed the most is we finally have running backs who their first instinct is to just run forward, and that's going to make a difference. And, again, it's preseason. You can't take a lot, but with the blocking and the rotations, switching in and out. So it is what it is. But I think I like the running game. I like, West was a little up and down, but I like the attack in general. I think we're going to run the ball pretty well. Defensively, again, a lot of guys were missing. So you can't tell, again, I could care less how many yards Johnny Manziel had on the running game. The running game is what I'm talking about, the actual plays that they ran. Tate looked good. If Tate had played a whole game, at the pace he was going, look, he's probably about a 75 or 100-yard game. I mean, I'll take that out of my starting running back all day after, it took us to the bye week to get 100 yards out of our running backs last year. But,
yeah, you're right. I mean, last year we had nothing even resembling an NFL running back, and here we have two guys.
Nobody's running for yards in the preseason.
They could be, and Lewis fumbled, and Edwin Baker had a cup of coffee in the game, but I thought that the top two guys, West and Tate, both looked good. Defensively, could the Browns possibly get lucky with a late-round pick on Armani Bryant? I mean, this kid looks like he might be really able to help this team. How quick is that first step of his, and how athletic is he? He looks leaner and faster than he was last year. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I got to bring him up. I got to give Dr. Football kudos. Bill Checkis, I mean, he's a draft Nick. That's kind of his thing. And that was one that he hit on. When the Browns drafted him, I remember him saying, hey, there's some question marks with this kid. And then he got the DUI right away, not long after getting drafted, and that kind of set him back. But I do remember him liking him. I mean, hey, you're right. He looks like he may have been a diamond in the rough. I mean, one of the things I think I worried about just watching the defense the other day is, and it's so hard in preseason, but just kind of looking at tendencies, is I wonder if they're not going to have problems getting off the field on third down again, because that did seem to be something that may, but it's so hard to tell when the other team's not throwing their best at you. It's really hard to judge that. You know what I mean? But there are some things I worry about, and there's some things I liked from the defense as well. I got to tell you right now, what I think I didn't like is Solomon Wilcots. Has there been more of a homer announcer on a broadcast in a long time? Because I got to tell you, man.
Well, it seemed like he felt the pressure was on him, and so he spent the first half of the game giving a big wet kiss to the Cleveland Browns fans.
I know.
And it was just so obviously over the top that it was noticeable.
But not every
it was
player
like, let me do everything
great.
I can to suck up to the Browns fans, because I know they're disinclined to like me because I'm a Bengal, so let me just give them a big wet kiss. That's what it seemed like to me.
I got to be honest. To me, it felt like it started to drag on like one of those really boring late season games that you're watching during a bad season, because he's got that voice, because he's the regular season voice guy. So he's got that regular season voice, and it was droning on. And I'm telling you, not every player is great. At least Bernie Kosar would stand out there and go, yeah, well, that guy's going to be bagging groceries next week. So, good for him to get out there and make an effort. And it might have got him in trouble, but at least you knew when Bernie told you a guy could play that he meant it. And when he told you a guy stunk, he meant it. And, you may not have liked the way he did it, but I did not like Wilcox at all. He made the Browns seem better than they were on every play. And I know that Jim Donovan does a lot of that too, but there's a fine line that you walk when you want to have some credibility, and I felt like he stepped all over that.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. He was doing what he thought he had to do to ingratiate himself with the local community, and I just think he went over the top. He did praise some guys, maybe a little much. I thought that the Browns draft, and in general, ended up looking pretty good. Maybe with the possible exception of Pierre Desir, who seemed a little bit lost out there, fell down a couple times, and he's got a lot to learn. Although they love his athletic ability, but I thought West and Kirksey, I thought, played very well. Liked what I saw there. Kirksey in pass defense and also making some plays in the running game. We didn't get a chance to see Gilbert, but Johnny showed pretty well, and I thought in general the draft class looked better on the field maybe than they did on paper.
Yeah, Pierre Desir got worked a little bit, but he kept coming back at it. And I'll tell you, real quick, talk about Wilcox. I had a play in mind. Oh, that summed the whole thing up. It was a pass over the middle by Detroit, and Craig Robertson had his back to the quarterback, could not even see the play, and accidentally defensed a pass that was thrown to the guy he was covering, and the guy dropped it. Like, he didn't even defend the pass, but Robertson had his back to the quarterback, was not watching the play. After the play, the first words out of Wilcox's mouth were, what great defense. Good coverage by Craig Robertson. He got in his face and stopped him from catching the ball. And I'm like, he didn't even know that the ball was coming to that guy. He hadn't even finished catching up to the guy yet, and the other guy dropped the ball. Craig Robertson did not defend the pass at all. He actually got burned on the play, and luckily the guy dropped the pass. But when I saw that, I looked over at little Jerry and I said, Jerry, is it just me, or does Craig Robertson still not know that the ball was even thrown to his man? He didn't even know. Yeah. He was completely turned around.
Well, there used to be a rule against face guarding in the NFL. There is not that rule ananymore. And if you want to just get up in the guy's face, back to the quarterback or no, it's a legitimate way of defending the pass. I hear what you're saying, that Wilcox was over the top with the praise, even when it wasn't really warranted.
By the way, what you just said, isn't that still a penalty? Don't you have to look at the quarterback for it not to be interference?
No, you don't. You don't have to. You can face guard an NFL receiver now. That is, you can be right up, as long as you're not in contact with him. You can wave your hands in front of his face while you're not looking at the quarterback. As long as you're not hanging on him, grabbing him, touching him, you can. There's no face guarding penalty in the NFL any longer as of a few years ago.
Well, that's one of the only ones. It's a legitimate
way to and a lot of guys, when they know, they can see the receiver's eyes or see the receiver's hands reaching for the ball, even if they're not watching the ball or the quarterback. You can throw your arms up. You can get your arms in his way, wave your arms back and forth, try to deflect the ball if you have a sense that it's coming. So, I'm not defending Robertson. The reason they drafted Kirksey is because Robertson was not good enough in coverage, and Robertson played well. He obviously knows he's playing for a job, and didn't have a bad game overall. I thought he made some nice plays in the rushing game as well.
I agree.
But you can tell he knows he's got a young pup biting at his heels.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kirksey's coming, brother. Kirksey's going to take that job by the beginning of the season. Bruce had a good one, too, when Manziel spiked the pass at the guy's feet. And your boy Solomon goes, man, he threw that ball right where he needed to throw it. And it's like, what are you watching, man? What are you talking about, man?
Well, when into the dirt is the right place to throw it.
You got to love it, man.
They got it right.
I will say, obviously, waiting, the third week, you'll get a better idea. But even then, see, to me, the third week is when you get your only true look. And it's not because of the length of time that the starters play. It's because for a quarter or two, they actually run some real schemes. Remember last year, the first 2 preseason games, how good the quarterback was looking. You know who the quarterback was. Then you hit week 3 when the other team tried to stop us for 2 quarters and we looked like a Bush League team, and everybody's going, well, no, that was a fluke. Let's look